ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم فقهنا في الدين. ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا عزيز يا غفار. Dear viewers, welcome back to our Surah Mulk workshop day 5. And today we will be practicing and understanding verses number 6 and 7. So today we have with us Imam Nadim Bashir, who is the Imam and the religious scholar of East Plano Islamic Center, and he will help us understand the right makharij or the right pronunciation of verse number 6 and 7. Imam Nadim Bashir, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Aminah. So inshallah we'll begin with ayah number 6 and 7. So in the very beginning, first of all, is that inshallah one thing I do want to mention when it comes to tajweed is that no matter how much struggling you are, or how much you are struggling, no matter how much you are putting your hard work into it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala watches. So just inshallah try to do the best that you can. So we begin with ayah number 6. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the very beginning, we find the ayah begins with a waw. So wa, and then lilladhina. So there are two lams there, and lam is a soft letter. So lil, and then dhal also is a soft letter. And making sure that there's always a difference between a dhal and a dha. A dhal is that one that comes after a dal. It is a soft letter. And so every time there's a soft letter, we try to put a smile on our face, and that way the letter flows out very clearly. And then we also have the noon, the ya, and the noon. So when you have a ya after that has a sukoon, that means that we're going to pull the dal. And then the noon has a fatha. So walilladhina, making sure that it is not, a lot of times here when it comes to the dal, a lot of the common mistake that we find most people making is that they change the dal into a za. Walillazina, that's wrong. Walilladhina. Next word is kafaru. So also we find in this word, the kaf and the fa are light letters, and the ra is a heavy letter. So kafaru is going to be, once again, qaf and kaf are two different letters. This is not a qaf, this is a kaf. And then fa with a fatha, kafa, and then ru. Ru is going to be, since ra is a heavy letter, we're going to pronounce it as a heavy letter. And a lot of times when it comes to the soft letters, if you put a sort of a smile on your face, then the letters flow out. And when there is a heavy letter, if you make if you don't make a smile and you keep your mouth normal, the letter will stay inside. وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. And then we have ba with a kasra. And we have ra with a fatha. So there's a soft letter and then a heavy letter. So we have to be very particular about making sure that the soft letter is pronounced as a soft letter, and the ra, which is a heavy letter, is pronounced as a heavy letter. And then we transition into the ba because the ba has a shadda. And so the ra is connected to the ba. And then we have a ha with a kasra and a mim with a sukoon. So it is going to be, we're gonna go from soft to heavy to soft. So be rob. So one common mistake here that most people make is that when it comes to a kasra, and we'll see a few of those in today's session, is that it becomes ba versus bi. You see the difference? So a lot of times people say ba rabbihim. So when you have something like this, you have to make sure that the kasra is pronounced very crisp and clear. بِرَبِّهِمْ وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ versus some people may say وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ. So that becomes a qira'ah, or we have no idea what's on the ba. Is it a fatha? Is it a kasra? So that's why the kasra on the ba has to be pronounced with clear precision. Then the next word is adab. Also here we find letters that are usually mispronounced. The ayn, it is not a hamza, so the ayn is going to come from the throat area. A, and then that again. Once again, is not a za, it is a that. The tongue is going to come between the teeth, and we're going to extend that because of the alif, and then the ba with a dhamma. So وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ عَذَابُ وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ عَذَابُ, and then Jahannam. The word Jahannam comes next. Jim is a very straightforward letter. Ha and Noon. As you can see here, we have a ghunna because the Noon has a shadda. So this is why it's going to be a ghunna here. So we're gonna and then of course Meme. We're gonna stop there. وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ عَذَابُ جَهَنَّمَ وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ عَذَابُ جَهَنَّمَ. And then after that we have again waw, and we have bi'sa. So once again the same thing applies here to what I said earlier. The kasra has to be pronounced with clear precision. So it's not be'sa, it is bi'sa. So it is a ba with a kasra, and the hamza comes after that, which has a sukoon. So it's not be'sa, it is bi'sa. Bi'sa. And then it is al-masir. So meme, soft letter. Sad, it is not a sin. So you cannot say masir. When you say masir, and you say it as a sin and you smile, it becomes a soft letter. Sad is a heavy letter. So we have to pronounce it as a heavy letter, saw versus si. Okay? Or saw versus sa. There's a difference. So here again, many people make this mistake, is they pronounce it as a sin. They will say wa bi'sal masir, and they just say it very casually. It has to be pronounced as a sad. Wa bi'sal masir. And because here we have the ra. Now ra generally is a heavy letter, but because it is preceded by a ya, and the ya is preceded by a sad, which is which has a kasra, this is why it's going to be pronounced as a soft letter in this case. So wa bi'sal, once again, bi'sa is not ba'sa, bi'sa. Wa bi'sal masir. So we'll go through the entire ayah. وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ عَذَابُ جَهَنَّمَ وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ. Then after that, we come to the ayah, the next ayah, ayah number 7. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the beginning, He begins the ayah by saying إِذَا. Again, إِذَا, the letter, the tongue comes between the teeth. إِذَا, not إِذَا, إِذَا. أُلْقُوا, alif with a dhamma, connected with the lam, ul, and then qu. Okay, not ku. This is a qaf. إِذَا أُلْقُوا, and then fiha, fa with a kasra, ha after that. Fiha, and then sami'u, sin, sin once again, soft letter, meme, soft letter, ayn, soft letter. Sami'u. So don't say sami'u. A lot of times people make this mistake. They extend that sin. Do not extend that sin. Sami'u. So sin with a fatha, meme with a kasra, sami. So that's the way you can pronounce this, is making sure that you first take those two letters and you try to pronounce those. Sami'u, and that way you will not extend the sin. Sami'u. And then laha, we have lam with a ha. Both of them are soft letters. إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها. And then we have shahiqan. It is a sheen and then a ha. Ha is not like ha, two different letters. So do not pronounce it as a ha. This is ha, which comes from the bottom part of the throat, close to the chest area. And then after that comes a ya with a sukoon, and then we have a qaf. And once again, qaf has to be very clear from a kaf. This is not shahiqan. This is shahiqan. Okay, shahiqan. And then because there's a rule that I'm sure Hafiz Sajjad explained before, when you have a noon sakin or a tanween, and then after that you have a waw, then there is idgham. Okay, there is idgham. So when that happens, shahiqan, shahiqan, and then waw with a fatha, shahiqan wa, and then here, both of them are soft letters. Here, don't say here. Do not extend the ha, a very common mistake. And then tafur, all of them are soft letters. Ta, fa, fa with a dhamma, and then preceded by a waw that has a sukoon.
Viewers, welcome back, and inshallah we will now go towards the explanation of the surah. So first of all, explanation of the verses, So first of all, we will go through the word meanings of the verse number 6 and 7, and then we will go into brief explanation after that. So ayah number 6, wa, and lillazina, for those, kafaru, those who have denied, bi rabbihim, who disbelieved in their Lord, birabbihim, in their Lord, azabun. Azabun means, punishment, torment. Jahannam is, we know, hell. Wa bi'sal, bis means something that is evil, and masir is a destination that someone reaches after a long journey. So it comes to this translation. And for those who disbelieve in their Lord is the torment of hell and worst. Then verse number 7 goes like this: Ida, and indeed, or when, we says Ida, when ulqu, they are thrown. Ulqu is the word that means something is taken from some place and put in some place else. This word gives us the meaning of the powerlessness of the disbeliever, that will be just taken away from one place and will be put into the hellfire. Sami'u, they will hear. Laha is over here is referring to the hell. They will hear the hell. Shahiqan. Shahiqan means, if you go into the literal meaning of the word, that means someone inhaling, and the inhaling sound is so loud that it seems like growling. Shahiqan, wahiya, and she is, because hell in the Arabic language is used by a female pronoun. Wahiya tafur. Tafur means, like for example, when you boil the water, and the stage when the water gets boiled very quickly and it starts to rise, that is the tafur, state of the thing. So over here, the translation comes, when they're thrown into it, they hear from it a dreadful inhaling, while it boils up. So this is just a description of the hellfire that is given. So dear viewers, now let's go into the explanation of these verses. So as we have been talking about for the past few days, the Surah Mulk, the basic idea and the basic theme of the surah is warning for those who disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what will the consequences of their actions will be in the hereafter. So the ayahs number 1 to 5 talks about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But now from verse number 6 to onwards and up until verse number 14, we will talk about the people and their choices. So from those verse number 6 to 12, we'll talk about the people who make the wrong choices in their lives and will end up with the dreadful consequences. So now what does ayah number 6 means over here? So now in verse number 6, if you look at that, وَلِلَّذِينَ, and for those kafaru also means denied, but kafaru also means the one that hides. You know, kafaru is also the word that is used for a person that puts the seeds in the soil, meaning that they hide the seed in the soil. It is also used for that. بِرَبِّهِمْ, the people who deny, and for those who disbelieve in their Lord. So over here, the disbelief in their Lord is referring to disbelief in the day of Akhirah. And how does disbelief in the Akhirah means disbelieving in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Dear viewers, if you think about this, we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His existence, His oneness, and also His attributes. So attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are mercy, justice, rahmah, right? But if we do not believe in the hereafter, then we are denying the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is justice, right? So if you look at the world around us, there are many things that are going on around this world, many things that are unjust but still very successful. So this means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this world and He's not involved into it. This world has no purpose. People can do whatever they want, and there's no consequences for them. Because yes, we have courts, we have things like that, but how many people really get to pay for what they have done? Many of the people never face the consequences in the world. But we know that this world is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and one of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is justice. So it means that if we believe that in this world everything just happens and there are no consequences for that, then we are denying the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is justice. So we believe Maliki Yawmiddin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just, and He has given this, this law of respite that we believe in, that Allah has given human beings the freedom of actions, and because of this freedom of actions, Allah has given each and every one of us time to show what we do and how we choose. But there's going to be a day when everything will be put in its right place. So not believing in the Akhirah is denying the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is justice. Similarly, disbelieving in Akhirah is also disbelieving in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Each and every one of us can understand how can be there any mercy without justice. If the person who has chosen to live a good life and the person who has made terrible and evil choices in life, if both of them end up the same way, where is the mercy? Right? So disbelieving in the Akhirah is also disbelieving in the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is mercy. Then also, the other thing that we disbelieve in that Allah has created this life with a purpose. The world, the way it is organized, the rotation of the night and the day, and all the processes of nature that we see around us, and they're so organized. Are they here for no purpose? Is there no creator behind it? All this is just a play? No. So disbelieving in Akhirah is disbelieving in this attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if something is so organized, something is happening and somebody is controlling it, then there must be a day when there will be accountability for that. This is a system, and whenever there is a system, it's an organized system, it demands accountability. Dear viewers, we work, we have careers, we work in different jobs, and we see that how organized that system is. There's an organizing body that runs everything. And that organizing body also holds the right for accountability of the employees and everyone else who is a part of that. So if we are if we are not believing in the akhirah, we're not believing in the accountability, then we are denying these attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and denying these attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is denying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. What is the purpose of existence then? How we accept him as our Lord if we are denying his attributes? So consider some of the arguments that Quran makes for the day of akhirah, and they're amazing arguments. I will present in front of you 3 arguments that Quran has given us for us to believe that there is a day of Qiyamah, that there is a last day. So the first arguments come from Surah Al-Qiyamah itself, and the ayah number 1 to 3 reads, "No, I swear by the day of resurrection, and I swear by the reproaching soul. Does man think that we will not assemble his bones?" So consider that, dear viewers. What does this ayah mean? Each and every one of us has a soul in ourselves. And that soul reproaches us when we do something wrong, when sin has taken place. There's something inside of us, we call it consciousness, or we call it, the reproaching soul. Each and every one of us have this inside of us that tells us, you have done wrong, this is not the right choice, this is going to have these consequences, right? So why is it there? Why in ourselves there is a soul that tells us that there is right and there is wrong, and the wrong will have consequences? Similarly, if you look at that, this reproaching soul in ourselves makes sense of our actions and the actions of other people, right? We see the actions that we do, and we see the actions that other people do, and we make sense of that through this reproaching soul, because we know this is right, this is wrong, this should have been done, this should not have been done. Similarly, Qiyamah, the day of Qiyamah makes sense of all the processes of this world. Everything that is taking place in this world, the akhirah, the concept of akhirah makes sense of all of that. This is happening, this is happening, this is right, this is wrong. These people are choosing to live a right life. These people are choosing to live an evil life, and then we make sense of that because of we all of us understand, basic understanding that every human being have, whether they're Muslims or not, whether they belong to any faith or not, each and every one of us understand that there is right and there is wrong, and this reproaching soul inside of us is an evidence that there is a day of Qiyamah. Dear viewers, you will agree with me, the worst person in the world, for example, he is a thief, he's a robber. What he will do, he will not want his children to walk on the same track. He will also put his children through education and the best of the colleges and universities, because he knows what is right and what is wrong. So this understanding inside of us is an evidence that there is a day when things will be put right. This is the first argument that Quran puts in front of us. The second argument that Quran gives us for the day of Qiyamah is Surah Al-Dariyat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Then by the Lord of the heaven and the earth, indeed it is truth, just as sure as it is that you are speaking." Now, amazing argument Allah is giving us. The second argument for the day of Qiyamah is the argument that we are able to speak. Dear viewers, anything that we say, any argument that we are making, I'm sitting over here in front of you, in front of the camera, and trying to bring across the point to you. What am I doing? I'm speaking. And I'm putting the words together, the best words that I think will convey the message in the right manner. So everything that I have to say, it will not make sense unless I speak. Similarly, this world is not going to make sense unless there is a concept of akhirah. How will you make sense of this world, the processes of this world, the rotation of the night and day, people being born and people dying? How to make sense of that? There is a destination, there is an end. And because as we speak, and the speaking puts reason to what we have to convey, similarly, Qiyamah brings reason to this world. And just imagine that. When I speak for the first time, I think about the words. What kind of words should I put together to convey the message? But the second time around, it is easier for me to say the same sentence, right? So if we as human beings can do that and recreate our sentences easily the second time, why don't we think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can recreate us much more easily than He has created us for the first time? So every time I speak and I repeat, this is an evidence that I have been created and I will be recreated again for my Creator who has created me, and He has given me the ability to speak and repeat myself, how can it be difficult for him to recreate me and then hold me accountable for what I have done in this world? And the third argument that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives is an amazing argument that really touches my heart. And this is another argument from our everyday life that tells us that there is going to be an end to this world. So this is from again Surah Al-Dariyat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and of all things we created pairs. Perhaps you will remember. So dear viewers, as we all know, everything in this world is in pairs, right? This is the, for example, now we are experiencing the months of spring, and we're all planting the plants and we are doing all of that. And the people who are expert in gardening or they have interest in gardening, they know that now they have planted the plants, now cross-pollination will take place and we'll have the fruits and all of that. Why? Because things are in pairs. Everything in this world Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created in pairs. Look at the pair of night and day. Look at the pair of heat and cold. Look at the pair of man and a woman. Look at the pair of good and evil. Everything is created in pairs. The only thing that does not have a pair is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah is laysa kamithlihi shay'an. He is unlike any of his creation. The beauty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is his oneness, tawheed. And whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to show that something is incomplete, Allah uses the odd numbers. Let me give you some examples from the Quran. So an example of this is as follows. Like for example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about that you people who are not able to do sacrifices at the Hajj, he says he must fast 3 days in Makkah and 7 at home. Just note the odd numbers, the 3 and the 7. And we do know that odd numbers represent that something is incomplete. So this over here Allah is telling us, because the Hajj of that person was incomplete, this 3 in Makkah and 7 at home. The odd numbers are representing that something is incomplete. Similarly, consider another example. Prayers. If you understand, all the rakahs of the prayers are even numbers. And when something is odd, when the rakahs of the salah are in odd numbers, it gives us a sense of that something is not complete. For example, all the salahs that have 4 or 2, something like that, and if one of that is left, then we say it is incomplete. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also tells us that 1 or 3 or 7 represents something incomplete. So how can we understand that this world does not have a pair? So this means this world is not one by itself. This world has a pair, that is akhirah, right? This world is this world and there is akhirah, there is a pair. So all of these things tell us that in our everyday life, dear viewers, that Qiyamah is going to come, the day of resurrection is going to happen, we will be held accountable, and this is why we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because we don't want to face the accountability that is going to be very hard for us, we say, Ihdina siratal mustaqim, O Allah, guide us to the right path, show us the path that will please you, and we will not be held accountable for you. And dear viewers, we are in Ramadan. The last 10 nights of Ramadan are very close. And what is the dua that Aisha radiallahu anha taught us? What is that dua? That to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. Why? Because the accountability, we are scared of that. Right? So dear viewers, understand that not believing in akhirah is not believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I must say that many of us Muslims, we believe in the akhirah. We believe in it, but we don't have the yaqeen in it. If the yaqeen is there, our actions will change for sure. If I ponder on the way that I speak, then I will ponder that there is going to be akhirah. If I ponder on the rakahs of the salah, I will believe that there is going to be akhirah. Right? So inshallah, and then in the next verse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the description of the hellfire, that this is going to be the hell, it will be growling, it will be boiling. So over here, the only thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instills in us is the belief in the unseen. We have not seen the hellfire, but doesn't mean, dear viewers, that if we have not seen something, we cannot understand. For example, if you look at a person, for sure you know that the person has parents. It's not that unless and until we see his parents, we won't think that he has parents, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the aql to understand. And this is why human beings are ashraful makhluqat. They're the best of his creation because they can understand the unseen. Dear viewers, do understand that each and every one of us has goals, right? Each of every one of us is moving towards our goals. But have you seen them? Have you seen the future? Do you know that you will be able to complete those goals? But then every day and night we wake up and we work towards our goals. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the reason, the intellect, the understanding. So when we see the description of the hellfire like that, yes, we have not seen it, but Allah has given us the ability to believe in the unseen. Inshallah, with that, we come to the conclusion of our explanation today, inshallah. And inshallah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you are having a blast with Surah Mulk in this Ramadan. And you know what? This is going to be a very special Surah Mulk for you, because you memorize Surah Mulk in the Ramadan in quarantine. So this is going to be with you for the rest of your life. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. جزاكم الله خيرا كثيرا, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.
شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون.